I did a video about why I moved. If you watch that video and you watch this video, you probably see some things that has changed between my complaints then and right now. Another good example is there's a high level of security and I feel safe in my new home. Hey guys, it's your girl Wiz Queen back again with another video. If this is your first time on my channel, thank you so much for joining. Please consider subscribing down below and be sure to turn the post notification bell on as well. And if you're a returning subscriber, you know the vibes, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't hesitate to leave a comment down below and don't forget to share with your friends as well. So as you might have seen my post on Instagram, I would be celebrating exactly 1 year in Canada this month. I moved to Canada September 2019. Some of you might have seen my post on Instagram, and if you're yet to follow me on Instagram as well, make sure you go follow me right away. And I'll be sharing a couple of videos about my experience living in Canada. So in today's video, as you have seen in the title, is about what has changed since I moved to Canada. This video contains mostly positive things about Canada. I should probably have a separate video about things that I don't like in Canada, but this one is mostly about positive things that has changed since I moved to this country. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Number one on my list, which I believe everybody in Nigeria or maybe some other African countries should know, is power supply. Constant power supply has been something that I've experienced all through here. Just one day, the light in my building went off, like in my house, it went off. And it was just like bam, bam, like less than 1 minute. And I'm like, where's my phone now? I need to call 911. I don't even know if it's 911 I need to call if that kind of situation happens. But I was like almost going to call, like, oh, what's going on? And the light came back on by itself. I think it was just maybe a glitch or something. So power supply has been constant for me. And it's something that I'm not used to. So constant power supply. Number two is better roads. Oh my god, you know when you're driving on the highway in when you're going through Third Mainland Bridge and you suddenly see this pothole that you have to do that kind of pothole. You rarely see that kind of pothole here. I'm not saying the roads here like they are spot on, but the roads here are very, very good compared to the one that I'm used to. Here you don't really have to avoid lots of potholes like that. There are still potholes for sure, but it's not the kind that, you know, those kind of bad potholes in Lagos, especially when it rains, you know the kind of ones I'm talking about. So I've not had to deal with that kind of potholes here. The roads are very good to a large extent. And another thing is that in Canada, the two seasons that most people will tell you, they would say we have winter and construction. And that's because during summer season or any season that is not winter, that is not snowing, there is usually constructions on the road. So they are either redoing the road, expanding the road, or maybe covering all those potholes and all that. So good road or better road is also something that has changed since I moved. Another thing is stable internet. Okay, sometimes the internet goes off here, but it's not that kind of like very bad internet that you have to struggle to do things. I find it easier to do my YouTube videos here because of course the internet is faster, and maybe my work from home job has not really been hindered because of poor internet at any point in time. The internet here is very good. Even your mobile internet is very stable. Your home Wi-Fi very good. We have unlimited data. My TV is smart TV and I stream all my movies online, even YouTube, Spotify, Netflix and everything, Amazon Prime. You have to stream everything because it's a smart TV, and even on my laptop or my mobile device it's always connected to the internet, and I don't have to like manage my data because it's unlimited. Another thing that has changed is noise pollution. Like in my house in Lagos right now, I'm filming in my house and my window is like very open, but you can't hear like that kind of noise you hear in Lagos when you hear oh shodi, or you hear those kind of crazy noise when you're even in your bedroom or in your living room. You can hear noises from outside, except you're staying in like outskirts. Even if you're staying like outskirts, you hear kukuruku. So I've not had to deal with that kind of noise pollution here, except some crazy people that drive with like noise or loud music in their vehicle. Or maybe you are in like a gaming center or any kind of place that would have events going on. That's the only place you have to deal with noise. But people don't play like loud musics and like crazy kind of noise. It's not something that is common here. With respect to noise pollution, content creation has been much more easier for me, which is something that has changed since I moved here. If you don't know, I started YouTube when I was in Nigeria, but I didn't create as much content because 1, the environment wasn't really encouraging, 2, the network was bad, 3, there was no power supply. Like a lot of things. Even when I say I want to film a video and there is no light and I had inverter in my place, so if I turn on my inverter, my neighbor is probably using his generator, and the generator noise would definitely affect my video, you know. Lots of things like that has hindered content creation for me. But since I moved here, I've posted more videos. In the last 1 year, I've been more serious with my social media and being more dedicated than I used to be before. Another thing that has changed since I moved here is healthcare. So if you don't know, if you migrate to Canada as a resident, you are going to be entitled to free healthcare. Even if you do surgeries, it's free. I just had to use the clinic just once. It wasn't really even that I had to use the clinic because I was fine. I just had to use the clinic because I was like in a vehicle that had a car accident and I needed to provide a medical report. So that's why I went to the clinic. But if you see how they attend to you in clinics here, it's like completely different. And once you're able to show your health card, I had to get a drug though, and I showed my health card and they just gave it to me. That was it. It didn't, like, I didn't need to pay or I didn't have to do anything. Another very interesting thing that has changed since I moved here is real-time government support. Like, I think this should actually be the first thing, to be honest. This year is very crazy for everyone around the world. When the pandemic happened, Canadian government showed real support to everyone, even if you're a student, if you're a working person, you have maybe work visa, if you're a permanent resident, anything, any class or any group of people that you fall under, there were like provisions for everyone. I was also one of the beneficiaries at that point in time because like my job wasn't fully available and I had to get the CARB. Some people were able to get employment insurance and like all those funds were really there. And you know, the most interesting thing is that you don't have to like follow some crazy protocols for you to get that money. Just go online, go into your account, your CRA account, apply for the funds. In 2-3 days the funds is already in your account. Like, isn't that just amazing? How else could they have done better? I think Canada would have been one of the countries around the world that handled the pandemic very seriously, and they helped their people as much as taking the issue seriously. So real-time government support has been awesome since I came, and I sincerely cannot thank God enough for that. Another thing that has changed is banking system. Okay, the banking system here might be kindly similar to the one back home. There's some level of trust in the system and confidence. I'm not saying fraud does not happen here. It happens a lot as well. But it's like you kind of trust that if anything happens to your credit card or they like try to hack into your account to steal some money, you can almost trust that you will get your funds back because the banking system is like really tight. Like they always try their best to see that they can resolve whatever issue it is. It might take a while, it might take several months, but if your money gets stolen from your bank account, you can definitely get it back, which is not something that is very common back home because my friend was a victim of fraud and he didn't get back his money. Another thing that has changed since I moved here is no show of wealth. Like on the street here, almost all the houses look the same and almost everybody drives a car. Like it's not a big deal. Nobody, like you can't even particularly tell who is the richest guy on your street because almost everybody like they are like on the same level. Not really they are on the same level. Some people are definitely going to be earning more than you, but you would not really be able to tell because the system is built in such a way that you can't show off. If you make a lot of money, you'll be getting more taxes, so you pay back that money to the government and the money goes back to a lot of people. So to a large extent, there's no show of wealth. Another reason why there isn't so much show of wealth is because that thing that you have, another person can definitely get it if they want. If I want to get the latest Samsung S20 now, I just need to call my mobile provider that do they have this phone. I can even choose a color and they'll get it ready for me and I go there to pick it up without paying a dime. Over the years or over the next couple of months, they'll take out their money from my account and you would not even know. I can also go to the dealership and decide to buy a BMW or a Benz. So if I buy the most recent car, I can be driving a very fancy car using expensive phone or expensive gadget and you out there would not even know because like anybody can own this thing. Anybody has a credit card, anybody has credit score, so they can easily access this thing. No, designers are not big deal per se. You can see some people still live fancy life, but it's not quite a lot like back home where you see somebody driving a Benz and you automatically think, oh my god, this person is rich. Nah, none of that is here. Another thing that has changed since the past 1 year is definitely peace of mind, safety, security. Like you can go out late in the night until you're taking a walk. When I used to walk late at night and I'm returning back home maybe by 10 p.m, I still feel at peace that, oh, nothing is going to happen to me. Or when I used to return very late from the gym, maybe by 11 p.m. or 12 a.m, I still feel safe. Like it's very rare for you to run into those kind of things. theft happens, different kind of things happen. You could be robbed as well, but it's very, very rare. It's not something that is common. A couple of times I've left my house without locking the door, and I'm like in haste, and I need to catch my bus, and I left without locking the door. A couple of times that has happened, and nothing, like none of my things went missing. To a very reasonable extent, I've experienced peace of mind. I'm not scared that anything can happen to my stuff. There's a high level of security, and I feel safe in my new home. Another thing that has changed is definitely my prayer point. When you were back home, you definitely be praying that, oh my God, I pray there's light. The one that used to happen to me the most then was where I used to park the car. I used to pray that, oh my God, I pray that nobody's parking right in front of me so that I can enter into my parking space and all that. Like that kind of prayer. Why will you even have that in your prayer list? Or why will you be praying that, oh my God, I pray there is no traffic? Like, you know, that kind of stuff. There's still traffic here for sure, but it's not that kind of traffic that you're stuck for 2 hours. Like, it's different. So your prayer point differs now. Another thing that is different now is that I see religion differently. I see worshiping Christ as a different way than I used to think. Before, I used to think that you only worship God, you only pray to God because you want something. I think that's the way I was brought up, or that's the way a bunch of us were brought up, that you just serve God because you know at some point you want something from Him. But now I'm beginning to understand that you need to appreciate, you need to love God, you need to like see Christ differently than somebody that you want to get something from. And that has been amazing. I wouldn't say I'm very, very religious, but also here, people are not very, very religious like that. Another thing that is different or that has changed since I moved here is like I've seen that the crime rate is really, really low. So one time when we went to Blue Mountain, I lost my phone very close to the fireplace, and for over an hour, I didn't even notice that my phone was missing until we're almost going home. And I said, oh my God, I can't find my phone. Went back there. I was able to trace the phone, and the phone was just right there sitting on the snow waiting for me. It was very, very cold. The battery even went off, but the phone was still there. Like, how can you lose your phone and you still meet it there? It's very, very rare back home. When you lose something, it's gone. Some people find it and some people don't. But a lot of time, more often than not, you don't find your missing possessions. Also, when I was in Ilorin back in Nigeria, somebody picked my pocket in the cab. Like, can you imagine? Like, I was awake. I wasn't sleeping, and somehow my phone went missing. Like, I was fully awake. The phone went off. The phone was picked from me. Another thing is, in Lagos, when you are going to Oshodi, like you are like wearing an expensive jewelry, maybe you're coming from an occasion or something. I have expensive jewelries now that don't even go off my neck, and they are there. In Nigeria or back home, when you're coming back from work, or maybe you're coming from an occasion and you have like an expensive jewelry, you have to take it off and put it into your bag so that someone doesn't steal it. Or maybe you don't want to like be stopped on the highway, someone robs you or something like that. Your expensive thing, you keep them all the way down, because you know at any point in time someone can walk up to you to rob you. They can even like point a gun at you and get your stuff. But now it's completely different. Everybody here probably own like something very expensive. You probably see someone wearing with like a diamond ring, and they're not scared that someone is going to rob them. So crime rate is pretty much controlled here. Another thing that is really, really different since I came is driving. I think the driving here is very, very decent compared to back home. Like when people are driving here, when you signal that you want to maybe change lane, they understand and allow you to change. But here, like in Nigeria, when you see that somebody is trying to move into your lane, that's when you move forward. That's when you move forward. Like, what the hell? It's just a road. It's not your daddy's road, you know. But here, like, it's kind of very, very decent, and people drive like sane human beings. Of course, some people still drive crazily. Like, you see some people and you're like, what? Who are you? How are you driving this way? How did this one even get his license? People still drive like that here, but it's still very, very, very controlled, because there are speed cameras on the road, there are cameras at traffic lights and some other places like that. And they know for a fact that pedestrians have the right of way, so they are really always on the lookout for people that could be crossing, or bicycles or whatever. And that keeps them on check while they are driving, not that they are excessively speeding or they are not really looking out for pedestrian. Back home, if you want to cross, you are the one that will be watching the car to stop and all that. But it's really, really completely different back here. Another thing that has changed since I moved here, which is going to be the last thing I have on my list, is you are making conscious effort to do the right thing. Unlike back home, when you just do some things that you really don't care, here, when you do something, you want to be sure that, am I doing the right thing? Because, you know, it might come back to haunt you. You might not be caught now, but you'll be caught later. Even if you are not even getting caught, or nobody is punishing you for doing the wrong thing, but your conscience would not be at peace with you. So say for instance you finish drinking a cup of coffee or something, you want to hold on to it till you find the next trash can to drop it in. You won't just drop it on the road like that. Even apart from that, another good example is like during this pandemic, some people applied for the funds and they got it, then eventually they started to feel like, oh, maybe I'm not eligible for this fund or I'm not entitled to it. Then they sent it back. Like, really? You sent back $2,000? But people did that here, like a bunch of people did that. A couple of times when people find like missing things, they report it. If you hit somebody, you don't run, you stop and let them stop as well. Then you call your insurance company. Now, even if you don't have insurance, you can choose to discuss with that person to settle it out of insurance company. You would see people scared of driving without a license. Some people drive without a license. A bunch of people drive without a license. But you see some people that are scared to drive without maybe their license or maybe insurance, because it's just in the law. You can't go on the road without a license, or you can't go on the road without having like insurance for your car. Even if you don't have insurance for your car, have third-party insurance such that if you hit somebody, they will be taken care of. So that's like some of the example of things that has changed since I moved here. I hope you guys can see some of the reasons why it's been beneficial. I did a video about why I moved. If you watch that video and you watch this video, you probably see some things that has changed between my complaints then and right now. And I still have another video coming up that will be covering the Q&As that I had on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube itself. Look out for that video. That will be pretty much it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed watching it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you are yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing right away. Make sure you check me out on social media, Instagram at wiz_queen, and Twitter as well. I'll see you all in my next video. In the meantime, stay confident. Bye bye.